Okay. So in financial management, it is five modules, but if you see, it is almost 8 to 9 chapters. Okay. So first one is strategic financial management. This is purely a theory chapter where you understand the concept of financial planning, profit maximization, wealth maximization, relationship of a finance to economics and accounting, role of a finance manager, qualities, things to be done for a finance manager. So, chapter one is purely theoretical. Number two, when you see capital budgeting, capital budgeting itself, if I say, it will be divided into three parts. One is capital budgeting under your traditional method. Then you have your capital rationing and capital budgeting under modern method. So there are three things which are there in capital budgeting itself, three chapters. Going ahead, if you see, you have capital structure theories, one chapter, and dividend decision as a different chapter. Number four, you see mutual funds, one chapter, and number two, bond valuation, another chapter. And lastly, you have credit management, that is nothing but receivables management, that is one chapter. So if you count, you have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, and 9 chapters in total for your syllabus of financial management. So, as of now, I'm not going to start anything related to your first module, that is your strategic financial management. I will do this chapter at the, just before your internal exam. So everything is fresh enough for you all, and that can be included in the internals. But when it comes to, okay, sorry, yeah. So when it comes to the order, do one thing, everyone, please write down the name of chapters. I'm going to dictate one by one. Please write down those chapter names in your notebook. Number one is strategic financial management. Number one is strategic financial management. Number two is capital budgeting, Roman number one. Number three is capital rationing, RATIONING, capital rationing. Number four is capital budgeting, Roman number two. Number five, capital structure theories. Number five, capital structure theories. Number six, dividend policy. Number six, dividend policy. Number seven, mutual funds. Number eight, bond valuation. Bond valuation. And number nine, credit management. Number nine, credit management. Is that written down?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when it comes to the whole syllabus, I would just give you an indicative list like financial accounting 5. I'm not going to give you a perfect list. but I am going to an indicative list that in which order we are going to complete the syllabus. Okay. So in the first part, we will start with dividend policy, mutual funds, and bond valuation. Chapter number 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So these are the first target: dividend policy, mutual funds, bond valuation. Then we will go ahead with capital structure theories. Then we will go for credit management. Then we will go for capital budgeting, capital rationing, and capital budgeting number 2. Now, the chapter of strategic financial management, I am not going to talk about it right now. Reason, I told you that I will do it just before your internal exam. So where does it fall? I don't know. Whether it is after capital structure theories, before capital structure theories, around bond valuation, I am not sure. So I'm not telling you. But yes, strategic financial management will be just before your internals. I hope that is fine for you all. We will be starting with the chapter of bond valuation. Let me just open up the whiteboard. Is the whiteboard visible?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Hmm. I've shared again. Check.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So okay. So can somebody tell me what is bond? What do you mean by bond? Can I say bond is a debt instrument? Am I audible? People are not
Yes,
speaking.
sir.
I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I say bond is a debt instrument, and alternatively for bond we can also write down as debenture. Is this visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me types of bonds or types of debentures? Secured and unsecured.
Redeemable
Then
and
number
irredeemable.
correct.
Zero coupon bond.
Okay. Anything else? Can I say
Convertible.
correct? Convertible and non-convertible. What about next after that? Participating and participating. Next, registered
Registered.
and bearer. Next, zero coupon bond. Is that correct? Okay. Now, what do you mean by secured and unsecured bond? What do you mean by secured and unsecured bond? Secured bond or a debenture is a debenture which has some security attached against to it. Okay, you know that a bond or a debenture is a debt instrument. That means it is a kind of a loan. Okay, so a secured debenture means it has some security in form of an asset attached to that bond or a debenture. Wherein unsecured bond or a debenture, that means it does not have any security aligned against that loan. Number two, redeemable and irredeemable. Redeemable means that the life of that particular bond or a debenture is a certain. That means, say for example, 5 years or 6 years. That means after a point, after 5 years, you can go to the company and redeem it. That means you can ask the company to take the bond back and give the money. That is redeemable. Whereas irredeemable means it is perpetual till the company exists, the bonds exist. There is no end to the irredeemable debentures, but there is an end to a redeemable debenture. Convertible and non-convertible. Convertible debentures are those debentures where those debentures can be converted on certain conditions being fulfilled into equity shares. Say, for example, you have a bond which says that after 5 years, the debentures will be converted into equity shares. So the condition is life of 5 years. After 5 years, the debentures will be converted into equity shares. Non-convertible means it remains as debentures itself during the whole life. Participating and non-participating. Now, the participating and non-participating debentures can be of various different forms. Say, for example, participation in voting rights, participation in profits, participation in certain matters relating to debentures. Okay, so participating debentures, that means the holders of those debentures have some rights. Say, for example, voting rights or getting extra interest because of bumper profits, whereas non-participating means that it does not have any rights, it is as it is. Lastly, fifth is registered and bearer. Registered debenture is something where the owner is registered in the books or the register of the company. That means who holds the debenture, the person who is holding the debenture, his name is written in the register. Whereas debenture or a bearer bond means a person who is holding, the name is not important. The person who is holding that debenture is the owner of the debenture. Lastly, it's zero coupon bond. I would not say it as a specific type, but just because of a certain peculiarity, it becomes a important thing discussed over here. Zero coupon bond. Now, before I explain you zero coupon bond, I want to explain you coupon. Okay. Now, before I explain you coupon, I want to give you a brief idea behind the whole history of bonds or debentures. Okay, earlier when we did not have good banking system or we did not have good accounting system. Okay, in good old days, when debentures were issued by a particular company, the debenture certificate itself would have certain
So,
coupons attached to it. Okay, at the bottom of the debenture, certain
Sir,
coupons
your
are attached
voice
to
is
it.
not clear.
sir, your voice
Okay.
is not clear.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll repeat. Where should I repeat from? Zero coupon.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So zero coupon bonds. Okay. So earlier in good old days, when we did not have good accounting system, where we did not have certain computers, those things. So in that days, when everything was manual, when debentures were issued by the companies, the debenture certificate itself would have certain coupons attached to the certificate. Okay, those coupons are nothing small piece of paper which is perforated to the certificate and attached to it. So the coupon would mention a particular date and coupon would mention the rate of interest or the interest amount. So when the holder of the debenture would go to the company would perforate, would cut out that particular piece, and against that piece, the interest would be paid to the holder or the person who is giving the coupon. So, coupon is a synonym, that means an alternate word or technical word for the interest rate or interest. Is this understood? Coupon, when it comes to debentures or bond, means an alternate word for interest or interest rate. So can I say that now you perfectly understand what is zero coupon bond, zero interest bond? The bond does not carry any interest to it. Then why will a company issue it and why will a person buy that bond? The bond will be issued at a deep discount to the face value. That means if the face value of the bond is 1 lakh rupees, it will be issued at 25,000. It will be issued at 35,000. So on maturity, the person get 1 lakh rupees. So invested 35,000 and gets 1 lakh. Any doubts over here? Any questions over here? Types of bonds, types of debentures. Now, when it comes to practical questions, this is the only thing which is useful, redeemable and irredeemable. Others are not in any way relation to practical. Why? While we are calculating, can I say redeemable means it has some life, a particular period. So, in terms of time value of money, when we know the period or time, can I say the valuation is done accordingly? Irredeemable means there is no time period given. It is lifelong. Then the valuation happens in a different manner. That is the reason why when it comes to practical questions, redeemable, irredeemable is very important. Convertible, yes, we may have one or two questions of convertible, but participating, non-participating, bearer, registered, secured, unsecured does not matter when it comes to your valuation of bond. Is this fine? Any doubt? Any questions? Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us understand a few terminologies of few factors which are involved in bond valuation. Okay. Number one, can somebody explain me what is face value? Can somebody explain me face value?
It's a value which is written on the shares certificate.
Okay. Anyone else?
Value determined by the company issuing shares.
Okay. Simple words. The value which is written on the face of the debenture is known as face value. On the certificate, on the debenture certificate, if a particular value is written, that value becomes face value. Interest is always calculated on face value. I hope everybody remembers that interest is always calculated on face value. Alternate word is also nominal value. Yes. Number two, redemption value. What do you mean by redemption value? When the period of the bond ends and the bond matures, the value paid by the issuer to the holder, that is, by the company to the investor, is known as redemption value. Redemption value can be at par, can be at premium. I haven't heard that redemption will be at discount, but in theory, yes, it can happen. I repeat, redemption value is the value paid by the issuer to the holder, that is, by the company to the investor, on maturity date. Maturity date is the end date of the bond. Redemption value can be at par, at premium, or in theory, it can be at discount. At par means at face value, at premium means face value plus something else, and at discount means at face value less some amount. Is this fine? Any doubts in redemption value? Next, coupon rate. What do you mean by coupon rate? Can somebody tell me?
Interest rate.
Simple. Coupon rate is nothing but interest rate. Number 4, maturity date. The date on which the bonds are repaid or extinguished. Last day, the life for the bond on maturity date. Bond price. It is the of the bond which is quoted in the market. That means the market price of bond. Bond price is bond market price. Bond price is bond market price. The price at which you can buy in the market is known as bond price. Now we have two things, call option and put option. Call option means, please listen to it carefully. Call option means, call option gives a right to the issuer of bond. I repeat, call option gives a right to the issuer of bond. Who is the issuer of bond? Company. So call option gives a right to the company to purchase the bond back. To purchase the bond back on fulfillment of certain conditions. In the same way, put option gives a right to the holder bond. Put option gives a right to the holder of the bond to sell the bond to the company, to sell the bond to the company on fulfillment of certain conditions. I repeat, call option is the option to the issuer of the bond, that is the company, to repurchase the bond on fulfillment of certain conditions. And put option gives the right to the holder of the bond to sell the debentures to the company on fulfillment of certain conditions. Any doubts in call option and put option? Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, no one was speaking, no one was telling me anything, so I waited for a minute. Give me a moment. Okay. Now let's start with bond valuation. When it comes, see, I'll tell you one thing which normally students get confused. There is a difference between bond price and bond valuation. Okay. There's a difference. Bond price is not equal to bond valuation. Bond valuation means the value what you calculate, and bond price is current market price of bond. Please bear in mind this thing: bond price and bond valuation. Bond valuation is the value what you calculate, and bond price is the current market price of the bond. Is this fine? Okay. BO is bond valuation. Bond valuation is interest divided by R, required rate of return. I is annual interest. R is required rate of return. Now this formula is when you are calculating bond value of irredeemable debentures or bonds. please write down, copy this down in notebook. The other things till now, whatever we have discussed, you will get a PDF of it. But for this now onwards, you will have to write everything in notebook. Bond value of an irredeemable debenture is, that is BO is equal to I divided by R. I is annual interest and R is required rate of return. Please copy this down. Then we will solve a practical question.
Done, sir.
Wait a minute. I'm just waiting for a particular question. Write down option. Mr. Shah wishes to purchase bonds of Tata Limited. Coupon rate is 6% on face value of rupees 1,000. Bond price is rupees 850. Mr. Shah is expecting a return of 9% on his investment. Should he purchase the bond? Shall we go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
In
sir.
the whole question, what all data is there with us? Let's see that. Okay. We have coupon rate 6% given to us. We have face value 1,000 rupees given to us. We have bond price, that is the current market price available at 850, and we have expected return of 9%. This is the practical, or numbers which are available to us, and we are asked, should he purchase the bond? Okay, so can I say that first of all, in the whole question we don't have maturity date. Is maturity date available? It is not available. So can I say that this is a irredeemable bond? And we know that for an irredeemable bond, the bond value is interest divided by expected rate of return, and the interest is annual interest. Can you calculate and tell me how much is the annual interest? The coupon rate given to us is 6% and the face value is 1,000 rupees. So 6% of 1,000 gives you 60 rupees. Yes. And your expected rate of return, required rate of return is expected rate of return. You require a return of 9%, you are expecting a return of 9%. Both means the same. So can I say R will be 0.09? Calculate and tell me how much is the bond value. Can I say the value will be 666.67? Yes, perfect.
Yes, sir.
So what does this 666.67 to you? Okay, now what does this mean? That if you purchase, I repeat, if you purchase the bond at 666.67, and if you get a interest of 60 rupees, then your expected return of 9% will be met. Now the bond is available in the market at 850 rupees. bond price 850, bond value 666.67. Now you need to tell me whether he should purchase the bond or not. Think, apply your common sense and tell me.
No, sir, we shouldn't buy.
Okay, we should not buy. What about others?
No, sir.
Okay, now those people saying no, can you tell me a reason for it? Why you should not buy? I have
Sir,
explained
because the
everything.
value of the bond is only 666 point, but then the market price is more than the value. So why to spend more?
Absolutely correct. If you have valued your bond at your expectation, I repeat, you have valued your bond at your expectation at 666. So your expectation will meet 666.67, but it is available in market at higher than your value. That is 850 rupees. In that case, you should not buy the bond at 850 rupees. Right? So can I say that when bond price is greater than bond value, do not buy. Is this correct? Then bond price is less than bond value. Okay. Then what should you do? Tell me. Can I say you should buy?
Buy it.
Yes. I'm just reversing for a moment. Say for example, your bond value was 850 and bond price is 666. You are valuing it at 850. That means if you buy at 850, you are going to get your expectation, but it is available in market at much cheaper price. So can I say that if you buy cheap, your expectation will be met and maybe you will get extra returns. So when bond price is less than the bond value, you should buy. What about bond price equals to bond value? बोलो. बोलो क्या करना चाहिए.
Sir, it depends on the investor. Like if he is expecting to get higher return, then he should buy it, or else he should not.
Why सिंपल. अगर मैं यहाँ पर ये 850 के जगह पर 666 लिखता हूँ, you are valuing at 666 and the price is also 666, then you should buy the bond. It is meeting your expectation, right?
Yes, sir.
Then why higher returns? ऐसा क्यों अचानक ऐसा वैल्यू मैच हुआ तो बोलेगा नहीं मुझे हायर रिटर्न्स चाहिए और सस्ते में दो. ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है. At some point of time you will figure your value, your expectation, right? Your voice is cracking. Somebody is speaking and your voice is cracking. I think Sejal. Yes, Sejal, would you like to speak? So even when it is bond price is equal to bond value, it will be buy. Please copy this table.
Done, sir.
Okay. Below this table, write down since the bond price since the bond price is
So your voice is breaking.
since the bond price since the bond price is greater than bond value, since the bond price is greater than bond value, in brackets 850 greater than 666.67, 850 greater than 666.67, bracket close, Mr. Shah should not purchase the bond. Mr. Shah should not purchase the bond. Question number 2. Mr. Nair who expects his returns at 12% per annum is evaluating to purchase 9% GOI bond of face value rupees 10,000 available in market at rupees 6,800. He is requesting you to help him finalize the decision of investing. Okay. Can I say that this question is again related to irredeemable debentures or bonds? Here, the life is not known to us. So, the bond value can be calculated as BO is equal to I divided by R. The interest, annual interest is 9% on 10,000 rupees. That will be 900. Yes. Divided by
Yes,
R.
sir.
That is your divided by R. That is your expected rate of return or required rate of return, which is 12%. That is 0.12.
$7,500.
7,500.
Okay. 7,500. Bond price, bond value. Bond price is 6,800 given to us in the question. Bond value 7,500 calculated by us. Can I say bond price is less than bond value? Therefore, Mr. Nair should bolo
Should purchase.
Buy it.
correct. Should purchase or should buy it, or he should invest. Absolutely correct. Write down next question. Mr. Jagtap is requesting you to analyze following data and suggest him as to whether he should invest. %13 debentures, face value rupees 10. expected rate of return %. Debenture market price 14.45. Okay, class, do one thing. Keep this as, we'll change it a little bit. I'm so sorry. We'll keep 8% expected rate of return and debenture market price at 16.25. Can you all solve this? Bond
Yes,
value
sir.
is equal to interest divided by R required rate of return. Interest is 1.3 divided by expected rate of return, that is 0.08. Bond price, bond
So it's
value.
16.25.
16.25.
Bond value is 16.25. चलो अभी क्या करना चाहिए बताओ. Bond price is equal to bond value.
Buy it.
Buy it.
Mr.
Purchase.
Jagat should purchase. Can I say because at 60.25 his expectation will be met, right? Any doubts, queries, questions?
No, sir.